What's up guys, Kawasaki here, and today we got some pretty big news in regards to Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. They've announced the remaining card for Wrestle Princess 3. So we have a bunch of matches I'm going to try to at least break down and give some thoughts on. So, like what you're watching, click on that like button, subscribe if you want to see more, or if you are new, and if you want to watch this live, or just want to talk and hang out with everybody and whatnot, there's a link to the Discord down below, and without further ado, let's get this started. The first match, we have Mokami Moto and Jiraiya Nagano versus Arisu Endo and Kaya Toribami. Next match, assuming, again, we have Mahiro Kiryu, Haruna Neko, and Yuki Kamifuku take on Yuna Manase, Nao Kakuta, and Yoshiko Hasegawa, aka Yappy, not to be confused with Yappy. The next match, we have Suzume versus Ryo Mizunami. One match that was already announced. Maxine Paler, Yuki Aino, and Rika Tatsumi take on Raku, Palm Harajuku, and Audrey Kong. Then we have Mizuki versus Hyper Misao. Miyu Yamashita and Maki Ito take on Hikari Noa and Riho. Then for the International Princess Championship, we have Challenger Miya Watanabe take on Alex Windsor. And for the Princess Tag Team Championship match, we have Rhea O'Reilly and Nightshade take on Yuki Arai and Saki Kai. And for your main event, we have Shoko Nakajima take on Yuka Sakazaki. So with the first match, we have Team Kung Fu Karate, TikTok, Dr. Master, Idol, popular, trendy, people, team, thing take on Zebra and Bird. Or, I mean, this could be like Madagascar. Team Madagascar versus Team Kung Fu TikTok. If this was the opening match, this would be a pretty great opening match. We have Arisu and Kai Toribami, Mocha and Jiraiya. Jiraiya has yet to secure a win, but we have Mokami Moto on one end, and we have Arisu and Kai Toribami on the other. Last year, it was Suzume and Arisu Endo take on Riho and Mesa Ruga, and Kai Toribami was thrown into, I think, a 10-person tag match, if I recall. Jiraiya Nagano didn't make her debut yet, and Mokami Moto teamed up with Audrey Kong to take on Yuki Arai and Miya Watanabe. So coming off of that, I think this will be a pretty alright opener. Not gonna lie. The next match. So I had to do a little bit of research, because I'm just gonna say it outright. I am not too familiar with Yoshiko Hasegawa, but as I did a little bit of research, this looks like a Team Actress Girls reunion. Yuna Manase, Yoshiko, and Nao were former members of the Actress roster. Yuna Manase, if anything, she's trained a lot of the Joshis in Japan. Like, a lot. And they're going to be taking on Team Toyo University and a cat take on Team Actress Girls and a cat. So, it's a little fun reunion. Probably a fun match, if anything. And again, looking forward to what Yoshiko has up her sleeve, as well as Yuna and Nao. And the first singles match that I would assume would be on the card, Ryo Mizunami and Suzume. So, Ryo Mizunami, she actually had a match against Miya Watanabe earlier. I believe it was in replacement for Willow Nightingale at SummerSlam Princess. And again, just tore the house down. Former Pro Wrestling Wave champion. I don't remember the title off the top of my head. But Suzume, Ryo, in a sense, they have kind of clashing styles where Ryo's more grounded, powerhouse-esque. Suzume is more acrobatic, high flying. So this will be a really great test of feats, test of strengths, test your might. I think this might be a potential sleeper match, not gonna lie. And now we get to the fun stuff. Raku, Palm, Audrey Kong, Max, Yuki Aino, Rika Tatsumi. So for those that are uninformed, Raku, Audrey Kong, they've pretty much shipped each other ever since, I think Aja met Raku way back when in TJPW, I think like 2019? Again, I could be wrong. And normally it would be Raku, Palm Harajuku, Yuki Aino, but since this is a tag, actually no, ever since Maxine Paler made their debut in TJPW, Max has had quite, I guess, the relationship with Yuki and Rika. I mean, Rika's like the pure menace to society of TJPW, and Max and Yuki, I know, I guess, have like a ship going on. I don't know how Yuki feels about that, because she's actually going up against who she idolizes the most, Raku. But again, really tough challenge, but they have Maxi and Paler on their side. This is going to be a really fun match. I actually am anticipating Aja Kong, Maxi, and Paler just to kind of square up in the middle of the ring. Now, for this year, we have Mizuki taking on Hyper Misao. And the last time Hyper Misao was in a singles match, it was a random rules match with Saki Akai back at the first Wrestle Princess. Honestly, that was probably one of the funnest matches I've watched, because all hell broke loose. We had, I believe it was Sancho Takagi and Yukio Sakaguchi just show up out of nowhere for one of the rules. They had to, like, every time they tried to attempt a pinfall, they had to spin around like a baseball bat. And then they had, like, they paid homage to Hyper Misao Jun Kasai, where it was like you had to eat the chocolate cream puff, and then after you finish like your bag, then you had to do the pinfall, or then you were able to like pin or submit. Then like it went to like I believe it was like a falls count anywhere, and like a last man standing match. Like, this is gonna be a really chaotic match, and I'm honestly all for it. Next match, we will actually be having Riho make a return to TJPW. This time, teaming up with Hikari Noa, take on Miyu and Maki. Little bit of a backstory. Well, I guess it's a little bit of a backstory. I don't recall if Miyu's ever faced off against Riho. I could be wrong. But Maki Ito has a little bit of a history with Riho, and she had got some beef with Hikari Noa. Maki Ito does not like Hikari Noa for God knows what reason. And Maki Riho, they've been beefing ever since they've debuted on AEW Dark Elevation. And again, 1 million, Riho, Hikari Noa, two vets, two very great rising stars of the promotion. And I feel, again, this could also be a sleeper match. Again, I kind of wish Hikaru Shida was on this card to take on Miyu in a 1v1, but Hikaru Shida does have two belts in Pro Wrestling Wave, the Regina de Pro Wave, as well as the tag team belts. So good for Shida. Little sad, because I do want to see Miyu versus Shida one of these days, either in AEW or in TJPW. Preferably TJPW, because they can actually go loose. Now, title matches. Alex Windsor will be taking on Miyu Watanabe. Alex Windsor was out for a little bit due to an injury, but we did have Hikari Noa show up to Pro Wrestling Eve to challenge for the belt, although it was unsuccessful. It seems like Alex Windsor could possibly come back to TJPW to defend the belt, or just compete for it all throughout the UK. Alex Windsor, I believe she made her debut. I could be wrong on the debut part, but she did defeat Maki Ito in that match for the International Princess belt, and she's held it ever since. Miyu Watanabe defeated Suzume to become the new and next number one contender for this belt. Miyu Watanabe has had a banger year, from being the finalist in the Princess Cup. I don't remember if she's had the tag team belts this year, but had the banger match against Magical Sugar Rabbits, I believe, at Grand Princess. And overall, like, Miyu Watanabe's year this year has been so far so great. I believe this is the second time she's competed or challenged for the international belt. Fingers crossed. Hopefully she can win it, because she honestly deserves the belt. And for the co-main, Saki Kai and Yuki Arai take on Nightshade and Rhea O'Reilly. I might be wrong on this, but I believe this is Rhea O'Reilly's debut, and this is Nightshade's return to TJPW. Nightshade, I believe, competed for the international belt back in 2019 against Maki and failed to capture it. I don't remember if she held the belt or not, but I knew she lost to Maki. for like challenging for the belt. Again, breath of fresh air. We have more foreign talent coming into TJPW once again. And Sakukai Yuki Arai. I honestly don't know if Sakukai is working double time as she's going to be as she works DDT as well. But I expect this one to be kind of slugfest. Again, Nightshade, Rhea O'Reilly. I'm not 100% familiar with their work style, and I kind of need to do a little more research when it comes to watching the matches. Again, this is just coming off the top of the head. So I think this would be a great match, potentially. And your main event, we have Shoko versus Yuka. Now, with Yuka has won the Princess Cup this year, and before even the Princess Cup, Yuka did challenge Shoko for the Princess Belt back at Cyber Fight. Although unsuccessful, Yuka does get a rematch. And this is pretty much a rematch from Cyber Fight. And it's either Shoko retains, and we get to see who else is next for the Princess Belt and who's going to challenge. Or we have Yuka won the belt, Shoko gets a pretty short reign, and who's essentially next in line for the Princess of Princess Championship. And I remember, I believe the first Wrestle Princess, Yuka did go into it as champion, retaining against Mizuki, and honestly one of the best TJPW matches of 2020. If you haven't watched it, I would honestly go take a look at it. Like, that was one of my favorite matches from TJPW. Like, I've seen it in a very long time. But for what's next after this, who's next to challenge for the belt? I mean, if Shoko retains, she's beaten Miyu Yamashita, Yuki Aino, Rika Tatsumi, Yuka Sakazaki, Hyper Misao. Like, the next couple I could think of that would be in line would be like Miyu Watanabe, Maki Ito, maybe a Miyu rematch. But again, they need to work on the main event picture. But if Yuka wins, you can have like Miyu again. You could have Maki. You could have like Hyper Misao, Hikari Noa. Honestly, they also need to push Hikari Noa because she's getting more popular in TJPW. Rika, as what they did back in January last year, when Rika did beat Yuka for the belt. Or you could even go back to Wrestle Princess, where Yuka took on Mizuki for the belt, or Miyu Watanabe. Like, there's a bit of a pool when it comes to who's next in line to challenge for the belt. So it's either way, you could see it as who's next in line, no matter who wins. It's just kind of my thoughts. But that is the card for Wrestle Princess 3. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the card and who you think will walk out the winner or even champion. But I will actually be streaming this on October 8th, because October 8th is October 9th in Japan, as it is to where I'm at in the US. Might be a late night, but I will be up to stream this. So if you want to watch, I'll be streaming it on YouTube. If you want to watch it essentially like live and like real time, again, link to Discord's down below. But thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you in possibly another stream and or video. Peace.